Hey everybody, and welcome back to another update of the AT Aluminum Tortoise 3D printer. So I had the extruder open and wanted to give everybody kind of show what Re3D made. The ones that they sent, or I guess the extruder, came with K-style thermocouples, which the Duet board doesn't really like very much. So I replaced it with these, which is a 104 GT 100K style thermistors. I found that the K-style thermocouples received a lot of noise. As you saw in the previous videos, I couldn't run the cabling in my cable bundle. So switching over to these thermistors, they can run with copper, so I can run them with shielded cable and they won't pick up the noise from the stepper motors. They also can run directly to the Duet without needing the daughter boards. So it should streamline and make everything work. Right now, I've just got them running out the end just to test before I run through. I was able to do a PID test and they're up and running and beautiful. So tomorrow I'm gonna run them through the cable chain and make them beautiful. But what I wanted to just show you kind of how this pellet extruder works, right? So it's got 3 individual blocks that they've got kind of these cartridge style heating elements running into, and then this is an M3 tapped thermistor. So we've got a little M3 hole right there, all buried in this, what I'm guessing is aluminum block over this pipe. Inside the pipe is the extruder that's set inside of here with the planetary gear on top and a stepper motor to the side. And this is just a 3D printed funnel that goes directly into this aluminum block where the extruder is fed and just kind of squishes it all out. The extruder nozzle that they have at the end appears to be, I haven't taken it off yet. They sent me this with a 2.75 millimeter nozzle on it, and they gave me one that was also a 1.75. Theoretically, it looks though like it's just an M8 3D printer nozzle, so I think I could swap it out for a smaller one if for some reason I really wanted to. So if I wanted to do something that was really high resolution and go down to a 0.8 millimeter, theoretically I could, and I'd be able to print real quick because I can squish out the same amount of plastic. All right, so right now the best speeds I've been able to get up to, so this was the last print. This is a stool designed by one of the art professors here. So we're making a series. We're going to make 2 stools and a table, and we're going to make a chest table, all of it 3D printed from recycled materials. So this is our PET that I got from, I think I got this from Filicube, with some black master batch in it. It's a scan of a tree trunk, so I'm going to print one of these in black, one of them in white, a table that's taller, print a chessboard, print chess pieces, have plaque kind of talking about the ability to recycle and how that all works, and put it in the lobby of our theater building. But if I wanted to print higher resolution on this machine, theoretically I could. So this took 6.5 hours in vase mode. It's got 3 layers. So it starts off with a concentric and then zigzag underneath it. So this 400 millimeter tall stool took 6.5 hours. So 2.5 kilos of plastic in 6 hours. Right, so we're looking at about 0.5 kilo every hour. Theoretically, if I went down to a smaller nozzle, I could push the same amount of plastic out, which would probably be faster if I went down. So if I went to a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, my cap would be linear movement at that point. I'm not sure. I'm probably going to go down to 1.75 in the near future and just do some tests. But yeah, I was able to get some very successful prints. Right now I'm printing on some blue painter's tape. My plan is to get a sheet of G10 FR4 phenolic plastic that Angus at Maker's Muse suggested. I can get a 4x8 sheet of it for just under $500. So I've got to find a donor that will pay for that. We'll figure out which budget I can get some money from for that. And then I'll do some tidying up and add some fans and some cooling to the board now that the board is pretty much all run, right? All my wires are run. I don't have a print cooling fan yet. I'm not 100% sure at the volumes that I'm working how much that matters. I might just, put a box fan on it or something that's really focused. Also have some longer screws coming in. The print carriage on this is a little wobbly. So I'm going to actually make a sandwich carriage. So I've got some longer bolts coming that will be long enough, some 100mm bolts that are long enough to go across this 40mm C-beam, so I can put just a whole bunch of V-wheels on it. So it'll have 8 V-wheels and kind of sandwich the C-beam and just be really rigid, which means I'll have to move my cable chain back and support it somehow else, but it'll be beautiful, it'll be gorgeous. And then I'm working on a distribution system for my bucket. This is not working well. So the last print I had this kind of zip tied to the top of the motor, and this distance gave me 15 minutes of printing. So every 15 minutes I'd have to come and shake more plastic into it. So I'm trying to figure out a system that will feed it better. I don't know if anybody saw, but there was a company called Recycled Prints or Recycle 3D Prints. They had a thing called the Lily Extruder, I think based out of Spain. They stopped posting in June of 21, so I don't know if they still exist, but they had a air-powered pellet dispenser that I'm going to try to either buy or duplicate. I think theoretically the idea is that you've got a tube and you have a hopper and you push fan out of one end and it basically sprays the pellets from the tube into the hopper. So we'll see if anybody has any brilliant ideas of how to get continuous feed stock to the machine without carrying around, 1 to 2 kilos of plastic. I greatly appreciate that. I'm looking at an Adirondack chair that we're looking at that's going to be a 3-day print. So I've got to figure out how to get this machine to work safely for 36 hours plus, and start to do some real big prints on this. So I'm super excited about the progress. Continual updates and upgrades. Now that everything is kind of fully functioning, I think it's time to button up the hatches, tidy up a little bit, and kind of make this machine ready for long haul prints. Thanks everybody, have a good day.